group. So I'm going to, if you follow me on my Instagram, you're going to see every Monday I post the Canadian bond yields because the banks, when they calculate the interest rates they're going to give you for your mortgage, they get that they calculate the amount that they're going to, they're going to charge you based on the Canadian bond yields.
Mhm.
So when I follow the bond yields on a regular basis, I post it every Monday. I recommend follow me on Instagram, so I'll post it every Monday, and I'll put a little story about with it as well with what's happening, so you can see the trend. Right now, the trend is up. In the past month, Alex, again, I believe the 5-year Canadian bond yield went up 50 basis points,
Okay.
which
So
is again,
what does that mean?
it means if you're applying for a mortgage today versus a month ago, the bank's
Mhm.
going to charge you a higher interest rates than a month ago.
Right.
The good news is rates aren't going up forever. And again, if you're when you're buying, don't be concerned with the rate that necessarily at what you get when you make an offer on a property. The rate you have at that time is going to be the rate at that time. Rates will go up and down, and if they do go down during that period from when you buy and when you close,
Mhm.
you actually get the lower rate and not the rate that you start with.
Yeah, that's interesting because I was talking to somebody yesterday or 2 days ago about like they want to go out and start looking at properties, and then I asked them about the pre-approval, and they were like, well, whatever, I don't think I'm going to have challenges getting a mortgage, but like, one of the benefits is that when you actually get pre-approved, you can get that rate locked in, as opposed to if, let's say, I mean, it's risky without a pre-approval to go start putting offers on things. But if they're at that point, then trying to get a mortgage, you're going to be getting it at whatever that rate is.
Well, yeah, that's one thing. Again, getting the pre-approval is your rate hold now.
Yeah.
So when you're actually looking in the next 4 months,
Mhm.
if rates do go higher, you have
Mhm.
something to start off with. At the same time, if rates do go down, you get the lower of the two.
Yeah. So
That
it's very
pre-approval,
beneficial.
that pre-approval number, or the rate when when you actually get the offer.
Mhm.
And even better, Alex, again, even when the rate you have when you have the accepted offer.
Mhm.
Time and time again, I've helped the people we worked with. If the rates went down a little lower,
Mhm.
go back to that bank, negotiate, and just get a lower rate with no extra really paperwork required.
Yeah. So that's great. So, we did say that we're going to be starting a few minutes later, but it does look like a good chunk of the participants are here. So, do you think I should just we should just get this going?
Does anyone have any? Again, I've sent a message out about mortgage questions. Does anyone have a quick mortgage question you want to write down in the chat group? I can maybe answer it now, if in case someone else comes in. If not, I'll definitely answer them at the end. So the format for today is going to be, we're going to be talking, Alex, you're going to be showing properties under 650 and under, correct?
That's correct.
And these are going to be your favorite properties.
Oops. Yeah, sorry about all that noise. I was just setting up. But no, I mean, like, these are just some properties that stood out to me. So I'm going to share my screen, and I guess I'm just going to start this, right?
Yeah, starting. So Alex, maybe start by introducing yourself. Then I'll
Sure.
introduce myself and.
Yeah. So my name is Zhvanetskiy. I'm a real estate agent with Remax Condos Plus in downtown Toronto. Before getting into this industry, I spent over a decade as a Toronto condominium insider. I've been a 10-year member of ACMO, which is the Association of Condominium Managers of Ontario. I was not a condominium manager, but I worked closely as in a senior leadership role for a service provider. During that time, I've probably gone into virtually every condo community in the Greater Toronto Area. Whether that was to, submit a proposal, meet with a property manager, tour a property, and this is one of the things, like when I work with clients, I can help them to, understand the dynamic of condominiums because they're not all similar. Like, for example, there's communities that have restrictions against pets. So if you're somebody who's looking to get a dog, for example, you want to make sure that the type of pet that you want to get is going to be permitted in that condominium. There's condominiums that I come across where they're smoke-free. You can't even smoke on the balcony. So if you're a smoker, or, like you have a family member that's going to be visiting you that is one, then, that's maybe not a good community for you as well. So, We live in one of the top condo markets in the world. For most people that get into home ownership in Toronto, they start in the condominium space. So this is what we're looking to do. We're looking to basically build relationships, educate people about condo ownership, and also provide what we think is vital information and add a lot of value to people by really kind of opening up things that consumers maybe would not be able to see before or learn before about condos. And that's why we decided to do this webinar, because I'm actually going to be showing you behind the scenes in our database, which is the MLS, the multiple listing service, where this is what real estate agents access to look and review properties. And I've actually selected some properties that I think are of interest. Now, these properties are kind of all a little bit different. Some may be more appealing to you, others may be appealing to other participants. But if there's something that you want to see that wasn't covered, or a certain type of property that you're looking for or want to get more information about, we do have our Calendly link, which I believe Carmelo may have shared in the chat. And you can always book a 15-minute discussion with us, whether you want to have a conversation about the condo market, about condo ownership, or if you want us to assist you with doing a gap analysis, basically meaning like this is where you are today, and this is where you need to be if you want to be in a position to buy a property, and how do we help bridge that gap and also add as much value to you as possible. So that's just a little bit about me, but I feel like I also went a bit off topic here as well.
You're a good speaker, Alex. Again, I did add that Calendly link in the message board. So if you want to book a 15-minute call to talk to Alex, or you can talk about myself, I'm Carmelo Buttice. I'm the mortgage guy. I've been doing mortgages for over 20 years. I also want to share, Alex, I put your Instagram in the chat group, and because I know new people have joined, I will throw my Instagram info in the group. I'm the mortgage guy. I talk about boring mortgages. If you do follow me on Instagram, you're going to see every Monday I talk about interest rates and the bond yields, because that's how the banks calculate the interest rates you receive when you get a mortgage. I don't like talking how long I've been doing mortgages for. It's been over 20 years. So I've been doing it for a very long time. I actually started my career as a mortgage underwriter. It was the best move I've ever made, because the first thing I learned when I worked for the bank was everything the banks are looking for to approve you for a mortgage. That's the first thing I learned in this industry. And from there, I just skyrocketed on. So as a mortgage agent, I work for you. I have no loyalty to any bank, because it's really who's offering you the best mortgage and the best rates and the best terms at that time. Having access to over 50 different banks, trust companies, credit unions, is kind of like a yo-yo with regards to who has the best rate at this time. And that's really about it. So we do have our links on the group, and I think Alex, it's up to you now to begin. And I never got to see any of these properties in advance, which I'm kind of excited to see myself.
Yeah, and actually, I was just like pulling this up on Matrix. I'm going to share my screen. One of the properties that was available actually sold conditional. So
oh, wow.
I'll show it anyways. So again, I wanted to just kind of go through this and show you behind the scenes what we see as real estate agents, and just a bit about my social media while I'm connecting to this. So my Instagram is alexz.realtor. On TikTok, I'm the condo mechanic, and a lot of my content is basically just like very condominium oriented. Like that's what I tailor my content for. So let's get the show on the road. So I picked 6 properties, and when we're looking to be basically doing this webinar probably every 2 weeks, just kind of updating you on what's available. And we selected the 650,000 price point as the maximum price point, but there are properties here that are significantly below that. And these properties, as you can see through the map, are located throughout the Greater Toronto area. So we have properties in Etobicoke. I selected a condo in downtown Toronto. 2 properties in Downsview, one in Willowdale, and another condo in Etobicoke North as well. And I'm just going to kind of go through them. I'm going to show you how I analyze properties as a real estate agent, and also just talk about each property a little bit, and then we can open it up to some questions at the end. So let's take a look at what's available on the market. So here's the first property that I selected, and I'm just going to open it up, and I'm going to show you some pictures. This is a condo unit.
What's the address? Sorry, Alex, for interrupting, but what's the address of this property?
I was just about to say that, but this is a condo unit which is available at 7 Mabel Avenue. So if you look at the map, this property is located basically 2 minutes walk from Islington subway station, which is on line 2. And there's quick and convenient access from there into the downtown core. Also accessible to Highway 427, accessible to the Gardner. You can basically, if you work in the West End or you commute to downtown Toronto, I feel like this is a great location because it's accessible by vehicle, it's accessible with public transit as well. So I'm going to open it up and show some pictures of this property. This is a 2-bedroom condo. As you can see, it's basically brand new. The finishings, the appliances are new. The finishings is new. And one of the things that I like about this property is it's a 2-bedroom, but it has actually 2 proper bedrooms that are divided by a living space. And Carmelo, let me know if I go too quickly with these images.
You're doing good so far.
So good so far. Okay, so I mean, yeah, there's the kitchen. I mean, it has all the standard things that you would get in a condo these days. It has a dishwasher. It has a range. It has a stove. It has a full fridge. And yeah, as you can see, the bedrooms each have a full-size window.
So this is not a 1-bedroom den that they're saying is listed as 2 bedrooms. It's an actual 2-bedroom.
This is an actual 2-bedroom. It has a washer dryer inside of it as well. And I'm going to show the floor plates because I think that this is like really important to show. So as you can see, I mean, this is the floor plates of the unit. So I think that, having 2 bedrooms that have window view, this is great for resale. And another thing I like about this building is that it's built by Tridel.
Tridel, they're a really good, reputable builder.
Yeah, I mean, Tridel, Menkes, Pemberton, these are the top builders in the Greater Toronto area. Tridel is known for delivering a quality product. And one of the things, I mean, you see the price here. The price is $649,999, and this is not an holding back offers price. This is the price for this unit. So
that's the price that the sellers are expecting to get for it.
Yeah,
they're exactly. Not no bidding wars or anything like that. They're not listing it low and trying to get multiple offers. That's the price. How many days has this been on the market? Can you tell? Like, where do I find that?
DOM. So DOM stands for days on market. This property has been on the market for 11 days. A little bit about the history of the property. So prior to this property being listed for sale, it was a rental twice. So it was first rented out in the summer of 2020, and then it was rented out again in the summer of 2021. And now the sellers are basically looking to sell the property for whatever reason. It includes a parking space, which I think is great for resale, and then also, just because of that location. I mean, as much as it is subway accessible, if you're living in Islington and Bloor, you do need to have a car, I feel like, for just kind of like some daily things. I mean, it's not absolutely necessary. There's a lot of there's a grocery store right at Islington and Bloor. There's a lot of amenities there, but I feel like this is a property that maybe would be good for a young family with a child. So I think having that parking space is important. This property is between 700 and 799 square feet. The maintenance fees are $514 a month. It has 24-hour concierge in the building, party room, gym. It has all the, amenities that a new modern condo needs to have. However, all the utilities in this building are extra. So none of the utilities are covered by the maintenance fees. All the utilities, so basically gas, water, hydro, which is electricity, would be on the unit owner.
Well, there's no gas in a condo. It's usually just the water and the electricity. Right?
The gas is heating, and bridge is heating.
Well, but are they not heating like the whole building, or is it just that unit?
So every unit should be metered. In some buildings, the whole building is metered. In some buildings, that every unit is metered individually. I mean, this is something that I would look to confirm from property management. But the way that this is listed, again, I mean, people make mistakes. But yeah, you could see that the heat is gas, and it's not included, meaning that Enbridge would be an extra cost.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge cost. I mean, to put into perspective, I mean, I pay my unit is individually metered where I live, and I pay about $40 or $45 a month to Enbridge to heat my unit.
That's because we're having a freezing winter.
Yeah, and the gas prices are higher too because of what's going on right now, in Europe and the war there. So I'm going to show, I guess, the next unit that's available for sale right now.
Yeah, this is a great unit. Like, I can't help notice the appliances are all new. This tells me it's even though it was rented out, it looks very clean, and maybe even would they have renovated or repainted it? Like, so it's all clean.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they really did any renovation to it because this unit probably was, first turned over from the builder in 2020 when COVID started.
Yeah.
So
it's a new building. It's less than 5. It's just a few years old then.
Yeah, I mean, it's TSCC 2782, so you can look that up on condos.ca, and you can see when that building was registered. That's kind of what it is. So
awesome. Let's see the next one.
Yeah, let's see the next one. So the next one is a bit of a different unit. So this is located at Bathurst and Steeles. Okay, so it's basically on the border with Thornhill. It's still an area where I feel that it's fairly accessible. I mean, there's a bus that goes right to Finch subway station. That's about 15-20 minutes from Bathurst and Steeles. There's also access to the new subway stations that have been created, like around York University. You can drive and park. There's a lot of green space. This is G. Ross Lord Park here. I think that this is a great area. In North York, there's some good high schools around there, Northview and Newtonbrook. There's good schools for kids. And, really the reason why I'm showing this unit is because this unit is priced right now at $638,000. However, look at the square footage of this unit. I don't know if you can read that.
Over 1,100 square feet.
This unit is 1,100 square feet. This is a 2-bedroom with a den, 2 full bathrooms. So, essentially.
Stop right there. Go back, Alex. I'm sorry to interrupt. Look at that kitchen window. Like, I noticed there's nothing obstructing you. It's not like the one before. You're looking out your window when you're eating breakfast. You get a sky, like you get the not skyline, but you get the really an unobstructed view, like the sunrise or sunset. Like nothing's blocking you. It's perfect.
This is a great view. Sunlight. And the thing is that this unit has a dine-in kitchen, or eat-in kitchen. Like it has a breakfast area in the kitchen. And I love condos that are a little bit more mature because you get a lot more space. I mean, 1,100 square foot unit, they don't build them like this anymore. This is basically a townhouse in the sky.
Yeah. So sorry for interrupting, but I just had to point that out. Like it's place, and it looks like it's newly renovated, or at least renovated. That's not the original. That can't be original.
No, this is not original. They updated the flooring. It looks like they redid the bathroom. Closets. I mean, look, maybe they just changed the doors, but they've done work to bring this unit to the market. It has laundry in the unit. It's a 2-bedroom plus den, but the den is basically I'm just going to go back a bit. The den is this balcony enclosure. So these units used to have a balcony, but what they did is then they enclosed it and created that into a living space, which I think is really smart because, in Canada, you're enjoying your balcony, maybe 4 or 5 months of the year?
It's that.
If that, right? And I'm just going to scroll quickly back to where I left off. But, this building, I mean, these are the views.
Wow.
From the kitchen. So I think it's good. But this building has so many outdoor amenities that you don't need to necessarily be on the balcony. Like this building has an outdoor pool, outdoor hot tub. It has an indoor hot tub as well. I mean, I've shown units in this building many times. This tub actually maybe can fit like 4 people. It looks a lot bigger here than it actually is, but I've never really seen this being fully utilized. They have a ping pong room. They have a squash court in the building, sauna, tennis courts, a library with a billiards room, a gym. I mean, these are great amenities. And, it's 1,100 square feet, and the maintenance fees are only $849. And these maintenance fees include heating, hydro, water, cable TV. They include everything. Even cable TV. They don't include internet. That's the only amenity that it doesn't include. It comes with a parking space. It comes with a locker, and it's $638,000. Like that's the asking price for this unit.
That's great value. Like the cost per square foot is really low on this.
Exactly. And so here's the thing. In a building that's more mature, like, okay, let's say this building was built, I don't know exactly when it was built. I'm assuming it was built in the 90s. So if the building was built, 30, 40 years ago, the fact that the maintenance fees have remained this low speaks highly about the upkeep of this building because, things that could have gone wrong already would have gone wrong in 30, 40 years. Like, I mean, they've gone through things like refurbishing the common elements, like updating the elevators, like all of these things have already happened, and the maintenance fees are only $849. And when you factor in the fact that, heating, hydro, and cable TV and water are included as part of those maintenance fees, I mean, that's a big chunk of this is going towards that. And the great thing is that the building, basically gets a better rate on this because, because these services are being provided to 300 to 400 units instead of 1 unit.
So you can kind of discount. Like I know I pay for my mom's cable, it's about $100 a month.
Yep.
You already mentioned the heating in your unit is about $40-50.
Yep.
Water is going to be not that expensive, $30-40. Hydro in my unit, I know it's winter time, it's about $50-55 a month. Like once we discount all those things, that condo fees really isn't that high because you got to, if it's not included, well, you got to pay separately.
I mean, and like this is, it's an 1,100 square foot unit. Like it's very easily like a family with 2 children can live there comfortably.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm gonna just show a bit of the price history. So this unit's been on the market for a while. This unit was first listed in September for $750,000.
Wow.
And right now it's being offered at $638,000. And the reason for this is there's a lot of opportunities in the condo market right now. There's a lot of opportunities to buy condos at a good price now because these condos are also competing with assignments. There's a lot of assignments. There's people that got, for those that don't know what an assignment is basically, there's people that bought a unit from a builder whenever, like either when the pandemic started or 5 years ago. And then what happened is that their personal circumstance has changed. And now they're not able to close on that purchase. So these properties are now, there's a sub-market for assignments that's available. And they're competing with other condos as well. So there's a lot of inventory of condos on the market. And what this does is it creates an environment that's very friendly for buyers because they can, I'm pretty sure that if somebody was to come in and offer, I don't know, a number that's below this, as long as it's within reason and we can, provide some data on why that's being offered, that offer would have a good chance on getting accepted.
That's awesome. The fact that it's already 100,000 lower than just a few months ago.
Yeah.
Like that's a big discount.
Yeah, exactly. And this unit was purchased for 430,000 in 2017. Sorry, 2017. So, like it's appreciated as well, but it's also created like a good value here. So
I think that with a change in the last few months,
yes,
the fact that it's dropped so much, it kind of tells me that they're kind of pressured to sell it. They discounted like 100,000.
yeah. So there's good motivation, and there's opportunities like this that exist in the market.
So we already got a question from Alexander. Where can I
Yes.
find good condo assignment deals?
So for assignments, it's a little bit different. Assignment deals, like I have access through my network of agents where we share assignment opportunities that are being available. But one of the differences between assignments and buying resale is that when you're buying an assignment, you can't, do the same structure of down payment as you do for resale. Correct me if I'm wrong, Carmelo.
It's very different. How the banks approve and finance an assignment. There's going to be more requirements, and maybe we could talk about that at the end. Alex, again, at the same time, if you want to do a calendar invite, we could do a 15-minute call to kind of go over it in a lot more detail. It's not something that could be quickly answered in a 5-minute answer right now. So put the link if you want to request an appointment to talk to one of us with regards to the assignments. More than happy to answer that in full details. And maybe at the end, if we have some time, Alex, we'll definitely bring that up. But
Okay.
The best person where to find them, the guy who's talking, Alex. He's the best person he has access to a lot of assignments out there.
Yeah, I have a network of various agents and groups where other realtors share their clients' assignment properties.
So that's that second property. That's a great property, Alex. A lot of good value.
I think so too. And I mean, like the fact is the space, right? Like there's simply like I was at Sugar Wharf today, which is at Yonge and Queens Quay. This building is in interim occupancy right now. It used to be where the government nightclub was previously. They built it on top of that, and that's a Manres building. And there's like the biggest unit in that building was under 1,000 square feet. Like they're just simply not, and that unit was $1.5 million. So wow. They're simply not building units this big anymore. So that's why I, decided that I wanted to show this unit because, like if you have a family with kids, this may be a good solution for you at a good price point.
So is there another property to look at, or
yeah, there is. There's a few. So I mean, okay, so this is one that I was going to show. Yes, I was going to show available. Unfortunately, this unit has right now sold conditionally. So what that means is that they've accepted an offer, but there's some conditions that need to be met, and the conditions are financing and status certificate. So basically, what this means is that the buyer has. Normally it's 5 business days to satisfy that they can, finance the purchase of the property. And also the lawyer has, some period of time to review the status certificate, which is basically the declaration, the financial records of the condominium, to assure the buyer that the condominium that they're buying into is in a good financial state. But I think I'll show this unit anyways, even though it's sold conditional. Is that okay, Carmelo? Okay. And the reason I'm going to show this is because I love Gramercy Park condominiums. Quite simple. This is the original condominium at Wilson and Tippett, right at Wilson subway station. Okay, so you're right beside Yorkdale Mall. You get on you're a 2-minute walk from the subway, and then you can go either up north to York University or you can go down south to the core. Super accessible. You're right beside Allen Road. You're right beside the highway. You're right beside everything. Okay. And I know that this building is very well managed and very, very well run. Part of the reason is that like I mentioned, I was a service provider for over a decade in the industry. So I'm very familiar with Gramercy Park. It's managed by ICC, which is one of the top property management companies in the GTA. They have a great concierge team. They have like great service staff. I mean, this unit is a little unit. It's a little one bedroom that's about 470 square feet, but it comes with a parking space. It does not include a locker, but the maintenance fees are only $363 a month.
So this would be good for a single person.
This would be great for a single person, a student. I'm just going to scroll quickly back to where I left off. A student, somebody who's maybe looking for an investment property. It's kind of like a little corner almost unit. It's like triangle shaped, which is good because it creates all of this extra living space here. It has a balcony. The bedroom is a little, it's kind of tucked away here. It does not have a window in the bedroom. It has this sliding door with glass, which, for some people it's not their cup of tea. For others it is. Whatever it is. I mean, I just wanted to show that there is, this type of property available under 500,000 in a AAA building at a great location with the parking space, low maintenance fees, for a property that's under 500,000, correct me if I'm wrong, Carmelo, but you can purchase that with 5% down, right?
Correct. The fact that it could be, as long as it's 500,000 or less, you still buy with 5% down. You only need 25,000 for a down payment.
Yeah. So, you can get into this property, 25,000 with a down payment. There's a lot of new properties that are going up in this area right now. The amenities are great. It has an indoor pool, hot tub. It's great for entertaining. It has this outdoor deck. It has a nice gym. It has a theater room, which I think we're going to see. It has a theater room that, if you want to have your friends over to watch a movie, or watch the game, it's all there for you. Great party room. I mean, look at this party room.
A great party room. It's better than my party room.
Yeah, I like. This is a building where I would recommend to my brother to move into. Let's just put it at that. I mean, it has a great sense of community. It's well run, well established, and I think that out of that whole block of Wilson and Tippett, I believe that Gramercy Park, the original building, is still the best building there.
It's also good for investors because, again, it's accessible to the TTC, for anybody with the tenant works downtown, and or even a student that goes to York University or even U of T.
Yeah,
teased off that the university line.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, if you can walk to line 1, that's pretty unbelievable. That's a great location. And when you're Toronto condos, being able to walk to the subway is a huge plus. And even if you don't take the subway, I mean, this comes with a parking spot, so you're right beside Allen Road. You can just go wherever you want. So I'm going to monitor this. I'm interested in what this sells for. But if we look at the price history here, I mean, this property has been on the market for a bit now. It was originally listed in, I guess, what is the 6 month? In July, for $549,000 by Frank Leo. And now they brought a new agent, and they've listed it for $499. And this was not a offer holding back offers. I mean, you can see right there, offers anytime. So,
and they got an offer because it's already conditional, right? So again, its price would drop by 50,000. In fact, I think it was under 500. It would probably stirred a lot of the action.
Yeah, it's under 500. It's a AAA building. I'm it's a great location in North York. Very, it's a great area. You're right beside Bathurst Manor. Yeah, Earl Bales Park, no frills, everything. So yeah. So I'm going to move on to the next listing.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so the next listing is another condo that has now sold for under 500,000. So this is a condo at 88 Charles Street East, and let me just show you where that's located. That's right at Church and Bloor. You're right at, you're super close to Yonge and Bloor subway station. You're basically in downtown Toronto in the core. Everything is accessible, everything is walkable, and that's why I selected this condo, because it does not include a parking space. But I don't feel like a parking space is necessary if you're living at Church and Bloor.
If you're living right downtown, you don't really need parking because you don't want to be driving in downtown. It's a mess anyways.
Yeah,
to walk everywhere.
Yeah, so it's a 1-bedroom. It's a little boutique building. You know, so it's you know, it doesn't have a lot of units. You can see how many mailboxes there are there. You know, I like the interior of this building. It's kind of like, it makes me feel like I'm at the like a hotel, like a Victorian hotel or something like that.
How character.
Yeah, a lot of character in the building, but the thing is that like the location is just like not going anywhere, right? Like a location is key. I'm a firm believer that when you're buying a property, if you're working with a budget, is you want to buy the cheapest property on the best street.
Well, isn't it the three rules of buying property: location, location, location?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the appliances maybe need some updating here. You know, we do you know, put conditions that appliances are going to be working. I mean, like not everybody likes these white appliances, but I mean, you can buy, you know, new appliances for, you know, a couple of $1,000s, and you can have stainless steel or, you know, whatever you want to. You want to have a Samsung smart fridge or whatever you want. You can put that in there. I mean, it's a nice, clean unit in a great location. That's just like the location's unbeatable, and we have a lot of immigration. A lot of people are moving into the city. A lot of people want to live in downtown Toronto. Being able to get a property in the downtown core, you know, I feel like there's just like nowhere for the value to go but up. The maintenance fees are $589. It includes heating, hydro, water. So it doesn't include cable TV, but basically all the utilities are included in that maintenance fee. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, I feel like this is a really good value as well. And I mean, this is also a unit that was on the market for a bit. I mean, it was first listed in September. They then took it down in October. We listed it in November. Then they took it down for the holidays because we don't see too much action happening around the Christmas holidays. And now they brought it back to the market in January, mid-January, and it sold in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And again, it's under 500,000. So they bought it for 485. You could buy it with less than 5% down payment.
Yeah, so
well, 5% down payment.
Yeah, so I feel like you need less than 25,000, like you can, to get this unit because it's 485, right?
And that's a great unit.
Yeah, I think so. And it's all about location. Like location is key.
Do you have any more units to show, or?
Yeah, I got two more. I got two more. I'm just gonna buzz through these. Okay, so this is a unit in Etobicoke North, around Kipling and Steeles. I mean, this is an area where if you're gonna live there, you do need a vehicle. So of course, this unit comes with a parking space. And this is just another one of those bigger units that I just wanted to, you know, show people. So, you know, the building is a little bit older, but the unit itself is, you know, I mean, they've updated the flooring. Sorry, the kitchen was, you know, updated. I mean, fairly recently. It looks like they got some new appliances in there. I mean, the fridge like doesn't look too new, but you know, stainless steel fridge. I mean, these are like the fridge and the, you know, how new the fridge is. I feel like that's like the most minor part of it. I mean, the reason why I'm showing this unit is because again, it's one of these large units that's, you know, virtually can be like a house, you know, in a condo. Like it's 1,100 square feet, which I see townhouses that are that size. But you know, it's a very attractive price point. Like this unit sold for $520,000. It maybe doesn't have all the latest finishings, but it looks like it's in good condition from the photos. It has a great view, again, unobstructed view.
Wow.
You know, you're close to a lot of parklands as well. The maintenance fees are $691. They include heating, and water, so you'd be responsible for hydro. You know, I think the location is also, you know, pretty accessible. You're close to the 407, the 427, the 400. There's some good parks here with Humber River. And I mean, like this is a, you know, 11, like, you know, over 1,000 square feet of living space at 520,000. I mean, this is like, you know, right now, to put it into perspective, the average price per square foot right now in downtown Toronto is over $1,000
per square feet.
Per square foot. So this unit is 52 cents a square foot. Sorry, $520 a square foot.
Well, you can say roughly maybe around to 500, but the unit's 1,000 to 1,200. We don't know the exact square footage, right? So it's basically half the price of downtown per square foot. You're getting double the house clearly, because you get the size is so big. Downtown price that we saw the other properties, they were half the size.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, low property tax, only $1,225 a year. And again, I mean, I feel like this is a good value here. So I have one more because I feel like we,
Sure, let's just go through it.
Yeah. So this is a unit in a newer building, 15 James Finley Way. I'm going to just show the location first because that's why I picked it. It's right at Keele and Wilson, right beside Humber River Hospital, Highway 401. It's a short bus ride to Wilson subway station. It does come with a parking space. This unit, this building was occupied less than 5 years ago, so it's a pretty new building. You can see here, I mean, it's a really bright unit. This is a 1+ den, but there's a reason why I picked this 1+ den because I don't know if you can see it here, but you can see the sliding door, right, where my mouse cursor is.
Yes, yes.
That's the den. So this den can very easily become a bedroom.
Okay, and it's everything. It looks clean. It looks like it's staged, but the new flooring looks good. It's laminated, or
I'm assuming it's laminated. It might be engineered hardwood, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's laminate flooring.
But I can tell by there's no popcorn ceiling when I look at the ceilings. It's big. It's clean. It's well maintained.
2 full baths, 2 full baths.
Full bath. That's awesome.
So 2 of them, which is great. 1 in the bedroom and 1 is in the den. And I mean, look, the way that they staged this den is as a bedroom. This is the den, as a sliding door. I mean, it's great for a teenager
or a guest room.
Yeah, or a guest room. Nice view. You're not going to have that view obstructed. There's these townhouses in front of you, so you get a pretty good unobstructed view. They're not going to build something on top of these townhouses. CN Tower view, which is always
on a clear day you'll see it.
Yeah, on a clear day you'll see it. The building has a gym. Has a party room. I know this building has 24/7 concierge. Some nice outdoor space, has a barbecues on the roof. And I mean, this unit was listed for $534. It sold for $530.
So Alex, I guess I know when it comes to your mailing list, if I want to get access to these, like to look at these listings that come up, I just sent you a message that I kind of knew in advance. But how does everyone here get access to your mailing list to see new properties that are being listed?
Yeah. So what I plan to do is that, when we do these seminars, I plan to then also send out these listings. So if you want me to send you a copy of these listings, then please DM me on Instagram, alexz.realtor, and I will send you these listings. And if there is a particular area that you're interested in or a type of property, because I understand that the properties I shared, there's so many transactions that happen in the Greater Toronto area for condos, for residential condos, just to put it into perspective, within the last 24 hours, we've had 186 new listings and 121 properties have sold and 86 properties sold conditional. So, wow. It's not possible for me to, keep you updated with all the latest, units, because what I might think is good, you may not think is good. Basically just let me know if there's a certain type of area that you're looking at or a certain type of property you're looking for. I can also set you up on alerts. So when properties like that get listed, you can get notified about that. But if you're actually, seriously considering, becoming a first-time condo buyer, the first step is to speak to Carmelo.
I'll talk about the mortgages, but to get on that mailing list, it's just send you a DM on Instagram, correct? To be added to the mailing list.
Yeah, send me a DM on Instagram.
I just added the link in the chat group.
Yeah, and then I'll send you the listings that I showed today, and then we're going to be running this probably every 2 weeks because there's new condos all the time. So every time, my goal is to basically have 3 active condos, 3 sold condos, different sizes and price points and locations. But if there's an area that, we have people that say they want me to maybe focus on Mississauga or Pickering or, York region, then I can do that. I mean, so it's I'm very flexible. I'm looking to also do one about condo townhouses as well, because there is that option that's available too.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second, and I'm going to bring up the next part of the presentation, because we, as promised, also want to give the participants an opportunity to, kind of get an understanding of, what qualifying for these properties takes. So I just need a second to find that, and kind of we can go from there.
As you pull that up, again, if anyone has questions with these current listings, again, send Alex a DM on Instagram, or if you have a question now, we can look at answering it now. For the next part, I'll be talking about mortgages. I did not get a preview of any of these listings, so I kind of went in at, okay, I know we're looking at properties at $650,000. What's it look like if you're buying with, the minimum down payment, 10% down payment, 20% down payment? And I'm going to provide an example to figure out how payments look like. And then I also want to kind of show, like, okay, I know rents right now where they are. I know they're going up in comparison to like this new mortgage you could get at, say, 650. But I'm also going to afterwards show an example with regards to like why it makes sense to buy now versus renting. You look at, what would happen in the next 5 years.
Yeah. So I think I'm pretty much ready to go here.
Yeah.
Let me just share the screen here.
So as I mentioned at the beginning, interest rates have gone up. Interest rates go up and down, and it makes sense if you are looking at buying something. It makes sense to kind of get a rate hold. If you're buying a property, you could buy a property. When you buy a property, the minimum down payment is $500,000. Sorry, 5% on the first $500,000, and for every dollar above $500,000 to $1 million, you have to put 10%. So the fact that you're buying for $650,000. A lot of people would think that, oh no, I'm buying for over 500, I have to put 10%. That's not true. It's really a ladder. So if you're buying for 650, the minimum down payment you need is actually 40,000. Comes to like 6.15%. So the breakdown is you buy for 650, put 40,000 for down payment. Your mortgage is 610, but you have to get mortgage insurance through either CMHC, Sagan, or Canada Guarantee. The mortgage insurance premiums get added to your mortgage balance. You don't pay out of pocket. So the $24,400 mortgage insurance premiums get added to your mortgage. It gets included in your payment. So you're really getting a mortgage for $634,400. The mortgage payment, this is for illustration purposes. The mortgage will be amortized over 25 years. Your mortgage payment is going to be $3,651. Now, I didn't get a preview of what what property taxes would be or condo fees, so I kind of really took a guess. The guess, I guess some things I got right, a little higher or a little lower. I guess kind of property tax would be $200 a month, condo fees $500 a month. So to maintain and make payments on a building for $650, it'd be $4,351. The other option is also you can put a larger down payment, put 10% down payment, where you're then putting $65,000 down. You can notice right away the mortgage insurance premiums get smaller. The payments get smaller. And again, the amount you need to qualify, I kind of missed that the first part. If you're buying with the least amount down payment, your mortgage can be higher. So the amount of income you're going to need as a household is going to be around $151,000. The larger down payment you put, the less household income you're going to need. So at 10%, your mortgage payments would be lower at $4,171, and the household income to qualify based on these parameters would be $145,000.
So it's the estimated total monthly payments, including maintenance fees and property tax, and mortgage payments.
Includes condo fees and property taxes. Yes.
Yeah, the mortgage fee payment is actually this $3,471. So I mean, we're giving an example here on the $650,000 purchase at today's interest rates, right?
Yeah, exactly. And again, if you notice when you put 20% down payment, the first thing you're going to notice is, okay, the down payment's a lot more, it's $130, but all of a sudden you're saving that mortgage insurance premium. You're saving that 20. You don't have to pay that 24,000. You have to pay that 18,000. That's money, kind of an equity you keep in the house. So the mortgage being smaller, now when you put 20% down payment, you could get a mortgage with 30-year amortization, which really lowers your payments. You kind of see a big drop. There's going to be a drop in your payments of over like $635. And all of a sudden, the income you need to qualify is going to be a lot less as a household income. So if you had a household income of, a lot of people ask me, like, Carmelo, I make $151,000. What can I buy? Well, You could buy it with least amount of down payment for 650, but if you have 20% down, to actually buy a lot bigger house.
Yeah.
So there's no one answer. A lot of people try to multiply their income by the mortgage, and it doesn't really hold true when you look at these examples.
Yeah. So, the reason we're providing these examples, I mean, this is an example of $650,000 purchase, is because, we do want to show kind of what the cost of ownership is, but also, we also want to kind of go a little bit deeper here into ownership versus renting and the long-term benefits of ownership. Because on the surface level, you may look at it and you may think, okay, well, I'm going to be paying, whatever, $1,000 more a month to own a one-bedroom condo versus renting a one-bedroom condo, right? So, kind of what is the benefits of home ownership, and we want to also show on why it's important to get into home ownership and how it is actually more beneficial for you, and it saves you money and helps you build equity in the long run.
Owning a property is the fore savings account.
Yeah.
And it's actually owning real estate actually shows how you gain higher net worth.
Yeah.
You actually make money when you own versus when you rent. And like when you own, like when you rent, all that money is going to someone else to pay off their mortgage, versus when you own, a portion of your payments goes towards paying down that principal, paying back that loan, that mortgage you got, and therefore the amount of equity, which is the difference between the value and the mortgage, that's your net worth, goes up.
Yeah.
So,
we break it down in a graph in a couple of slides here,
yeah.
But like Carmelo says, property does appreciate over time. So, for example, I remember in 2013, I could get a one-bedroom condo, a Yonge and Finch, for $250,000 with a parking space. That same one-bedroom condo is going to cost me $550,000 or $600,000 right now, depending on various factors like finishings, views, and what building it's in exactly, right? Real estate is a tangible, in-demand, hard asset. You're owning something that people need. People need. I feel like real estate and having a home, it's one of the essential needs that we need as humans. Like you need a roof over your head, you need food in your stomachs, you need to have a sense of community. This is how you build generational wealth ultimately. Like how you build something that you can pass on to your kids and help your kids in the future as well. I think that's really what it's all about. And also, your home creates opportunities for you when it appreciates on kind of allowing you to then use that equity towards future investments as well.
Yeah.
I
know there's a lot going on when it comes to demographics, right? In a lot of prices have changed. We've seen with your examples, Alex, some prices have gone down.
Yeah.
But they're not going to go down forever.
No.
If you look at this again, if you want to read it, Alex, it's what Canada's looking to welcome 460,000 new immigrants each year.
Yeah, during the next 2 years, and then we'll see where it continues now. But most of these, new immigrants are going to be settling in the GTA probably, or in Ontario.
Well, I know the actual statistics. So according to Sagan, for every 10 people that migrate to Canada, over the last 10 years, 6 out of 10 come to the Golden Horseshoe.
Yeah. A lot of people want to move to Canada, and these people naturally are coming here for better life, better opportunities, and they have opportunities to, like part of that is home ownership, right? And I mean, this is the real estate price history over the last 22 years. So you can see that there are some bumps. I mean, it's not a steady uptrend. There are some small downtrends. However, when you look at it historically, you can see that the real estate value has gone up, like on every single level, from detached homes to, which is the top line here, to, freehold townhouses, to the condos, the condo apartments and the condo townhouses here below. Like, historically, real estate continues to appreciate, and as people continue to move into the GTA, it's going to continue to happen.
Yeah, and when it comes to condos, the actual percentage gain over the last 10 years is over 130%, which comes to like 8.6 or 8.7%, which is compounded every year. On average, that's what prices have gone up over. When you look at the last 10 years, let alone the last 22.
Yeah. And we've we created the next slide here to kind of show you what is the cost of renting versus the cost of ownership. And we use pretty conservative numbers here. We basically, for example, we said that real estate is going to appreciate only your property is only going to appreciate 5% a year. We put in that your rent increase is only going to be 2.5. But let's go through this with our conservative numbers to really show what is the true cost. Because on a surface level, you may look at it and be like, okay, I can go and rent a 1-bedroom condo, pay $2,350 a month, which is the market rent right now for a 1-bedroom condo in Toronto, versus I can go out there and I can buy a $600,000 condo, and that's what we're comparing it to. There's condos, 1-bedroom options that are lower than this price point. I mean, there's 1-bedroom options with parking that are in the $500,000 price point, but we used kind of these over estimates to show you that even on this level, what is the actual long-term cost of renting versus ownership. So we're comparing renting a 1-bedroom condo at $2,350 a month to owning a $600,000 condo, which can be even those 2 bedrooms that we showed, or even larger, and paying $3,200 a month in mortgage, $500 a month in maintenance fees, $200 a month in property tax, totaling $3,904.
Yeah. So we're trying to compare apples to apples as best we can, because it's kind of hard to do when condos are available at different prices for different sizes, right? So on average,
different locations.
Yeah, different locations. So again, if you're renting right now, you're paying $2,350 per month. If you were to own, let's say that property costs you $600,000 to buy, it's going to cost you $3,900. Let's say $3,900 to own.
Yep.
Well, where does the money go when you rent? That $3,250 goes all to your landlord.
Yeah, $2,350 goes into your landlord's pocket. You get a roof over your head.
When you own, out of the $3,900, $957 goes towards your principal every month, and that's based on your first payment. So how it works with the mortgage: when you own it, then you pay your mortgage down. Every payment you make, more and more of that payment goes towards principal and paying that mortgage back. So at the beginning, the very first payment, it's only $957. The longer you live there, the more of that payment's going to go towards paying. You're really paying the principal back.
Yeah. So let's go. Okay. So you've lived there for 1 year, right?
Yeah, what happens?
Yeah. So you've lived there for 1 year. Let's say, this is a unit that was first occupied for residential purposes before 2018. So there's rent control in place. So best case scenario, your landlord comes to you and says, I want to increase the rent. In 2023, you're allowed to increase the rent 2.5%. So your rent goes up, and now you're paying, instead of $2,350, you're paying $2,408. And, you're continuing to live there versus ownership. And talk about the ownership a bit.
Yeah, so we know over the last 10 years, price of real estate's gone up on a compounded basis, 8.6, 8.7%. So we're just going to say, the price went up 5%. That $600,000 condo is now worth $630,000. And in 1 year, you paid down the mortgage by $11,746. Now, when you bought this property, we're going to say you bought it with 10% down payments. Just because it's easier to calculate the numbers. You buy for $600,000, 10% down payment, $60,000. The value's gone up $30,000, so that's $90,000. And then you pay down the mortgage by $11,700 and change. So you've already, in 1 year, you have $101,000 of equity in this property.
Yep.
Your net worth is going up by $41,000 versus paying rent to someone else.
Yeah, and let's now go to year 2. Okay, so year 2 comes around. Anybody who's renting a condo, your landlord now wants to sell, surprise. So now you have to go back to the market and find a new condo, and the price has gone up again. So now that same condo that was $2,350 is $2,600. And I mean, these are conservative numbers, because just to put into perspective, anybody who found a rental in 2022, and I know there's some people on this webinar that have worked with me in the past to do this, you have seen how much rents have increased in 2022 because of various reasons I'm not going to go into right now, but mostly related by COVID. The rents went up between 20 and 25%. But we're going to say it went up 10% from the time when you first started renting that condo. So that condo is now $2,600. What's going on with ownership?
And actually, we're really conservative. We went from 2,400 to 2,600. It's only $200 increase. That's actually less than 10% increase.
After 2 years, yeah.
So we're being really conservative. And when it comes to when you own, again, we're being conservative as well. We're not saying it went up 5% from 630. We're saying 5% from the original 600. So the value went up only another 30,000. And after 2 years living in this property, you've paid down another, in total, $24,000 back in principal. So the equity you have in this property after 2 years is $144,000.
Yep. Versus just money that you're putting into your landlord's pocket. Okay, let's fast forward 5 years. Okay, so you've lived in this new condo that you got after 2 years. You've lived there for another 3 years, and now your landlord's looking to sell. So now you have to go back to the market. And now that 1-bedroom condo is going to cost you $3,000 a month.
And what's happened over the last 5 years? How much rent have they paid over the last 5 years?
You paid $150,000 into landlord's pockets.
And what do you got over that? Just a roof over your head, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, yeah.
When you own, if you can, if you own that same condo you bought for, let's say you bought it for $600,000. Again, at the beginning you think, oh damn, my payments are gonna be like $1,400 more per month, or actually no, $2,350, $3,904. It's $1,550 more per month. Well, damn, it's a lot of money. But look what happens to your net worth and what you got after 5 years. Again, we're being ultra conservative. We're saying it only went up $30,000 per year. It's $150,000 in 5 years. You would have paid down that mortgage $64,839. You will have $214,800 in change in equity, which you could then use to sell this property and have a massive down payment on the next property. Or you can actually refinance this property because you got equity in there. This could become an investment property, and then you could buy the next home.
Yep.
There's so many options because now you have a higher net worth.
Yep. So, I mean, I wish we could demonstrate this in charts, but I mean, if you can, I don't know if you can see me on the screen right now or not, but basically what happens is like the cost of ownership is here, the cost of renting is here, but eventually as like a couple of years pass, that gets closer and closer and closer, and then the ownership actually becomes cheaper than renting.
Well, not just cheaper, it's you're building the higher net worth.
Yeah.
If you're renting for someone, how do you save 204? How do you save? You made $150,000 in value increase. You pay down a mortgage of $64,000. That alone is over $150,000. How do you save an extra $150,000 when you're paying $150,000 rent to someone else?
Yeah. You're saving this over 5 years. So it's like, that's what it is. I mean, getting into property ownership, it's like a forced high interest savings account for you, but like it's much better than, let's say you were to take that same 60,000, you were going to put that into, I don't know, like a mutual fund that tracks the S&P 500, which goes up 10% a year. I mean, here you're taking that 60,000 and you're getting equity, and the asset that's appreciating is actually a $600,000 asset.
Yes. And again, as the value goes up, if the value is going up in value, we're being conservative at 5%. Straight line every year. How do you save $30,000 when you're paying a landlord all this rent?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just gonna like leave this up here because I mean, I feel like these numbers speak for themselves, and feel free, like, book a call with us if you want to know how we came to these numbers. We can break it down for you. If you want to know what your options are, we can talk about that as well. But one of the key things here is that the perfect time is never going to come. If you're looking to time the bottom of the market, guess what? You're not going to know that you're at the bottom until you already have reversed and you're on the way to the top. So, the perfect time is when it makes sense for you and when you're happy with the type of property that you can get yourself into. But remember, in the GTA, your first home is very rarely your forever home. It's very challenging for somebody to just go from owning no property to buying, their dream property. Most of the clients that I work with, they go through the same steps. They get into a condo ownership. I mean, the first thing is to just get into home ownership, get into the real estate market, start building equity, and then they leverage that equity, after a few years to purchase their dream home. I mean, it's a step like this. This is the only way that you can really do it in the GTA, unless you have, bank of mom and dad, helping you big time.
And this is where, again, you're creating wealth, you're increasing your net worth. If you're building a family, you want to help your children, you can't save this much money. And again, owning real estate, you're buying, when you're buying a condo, the saying for I always have is, it's your first home, not your forever home. It may not have, the size may be a little bit smaller than you're accustomed to, but it's a little sacrifice you do in the short term. Think about that long-term gain. You're going to have $214,000. It could be even more if prices appreciate even faster.
Yeah, and I mean, like now I feel like we're in a position where home prices, especially condo prices, are kind of like. I mean, I don't see much more happening as far as, because I know there's a lot of people that are applying for pre-approvals right now and looking to get into home ownership.
There's a lot of people applying right now. While we're near the end, does anyone have any questions with what Alex showed with listings, or with regards to how owning versus renting is going to be a lot more favorable to you? Anyone have questions you want to add in the chat group?
Yeah. And again, if you are looking to connect with us, I'm gonna just repost that Calendly link, because I know we did have a few people that joined later. So I'm just uploading that Calendly link again. And okay, so Alexander Yang, why are condos becoming smaller? So because there's less space. Like there's less space available. I mean, it's space is finite, and builders are looking to cram as much as they can. So, a lot of times when I, look at newer buildings, I see condos that are very long and narrow. And the reason for that is because it only has one window at the end. The bedroom is somewhere tucked away in the back. It'll have like a sliding door. I mean, they're trying to cram more into less space. And because the price of real estate is going up, builders are trying to maximize on that investment. So this is why the condos are becoming smaller, but there's, great opportunities also for condos that are, maybe a little bit more mature and are bigger. And I feel like the build quality is different too.
Can I add on to that question, Alex? Because again, you brought up a lot of good points, but the cost to build these new buildings, isn't it the cost higher versus if you showed a few of the older buildings where the cost per square foot was much lower?
Yeah. I mean, like labor, materials, it's more expensive, right? Like, you have, it's like in Toronto, I guess, like anybody who can, like, you can swing a hammer, you can make, $30 an hour at least, right? So
yeah. So the cost to build is higher, therefore the cost per square foot's higher. So they make it smaller to make it actually more affordable.
Yeah, they make it small, exactly. And I mean, like if you go to markets like New York, or I don't know, I've never been in a condo in Hong Kong, but I'm assuming it's much smaller in places in Asia, for example, where there's a lot more population, a lot less space. And that's what's happening in the GTA. I mean, like the traffic. I mean, okay, look, the traffic is getting busy again, but keep in mind, a good portion of people are still working from home. So it's just like, we're on the way there. I mean, I've lived in Toronto since 1993, and I remember when there was not much north of Steeles, and now there's tons. So
we had another question by Lovelet. Would you say that it's a buyer's market now with less multiple bids on a unit?
Yeah, so Lovelet for condos, definitely. That's what I'm finding when I'm working with clients in freehold properties, like somebody who's looking to buy a house. I'm finding that there's still some demand for properties that are like in very good condition, like we refer to it as turnkey properties. But yeah, it's a good time. We are definitely in a buyer's market for condos because there's a lot of condos on the market, and they're all kind of competing with each other. And just like I showed, I mean, like there was some examples there where condos were, some properties were listed and relisted and relisted and relisted again. Some of these condos have been on the market for 6 months. So yeah, definitely, I think it's a buyer's market.
Can I add to that actually? Because I want to give some a little bit more feedback on my side, because I deal a little bit with the demand.
Yeah.
I can tell you, just in the month of February, I'm doing in January. January, December were slower months. So I was actually doing like I know December, like 1-2 pre-approvals per week. Because the holidays were coming, and January began the same way. But for the month of February, I've been actually very busy. I've been doing like 4 to 5 pre-approvals per week. So that tells me that there's a lot more people ready to get engaged. They see that the prices are down, and they're calling me to get the pre-approvals to go out there, start looking. So I just noticed in the last 4 weeks, it's like the pendulums. I can't say it's swung yet, but it's a lot more people are contacting me because I see that the people looking to buy, which is the demand, and I don't know if it shows yet when it comes to like multiple offers out there, Alex.
Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
I just want, as I'm seeing more pre-approval and introducing to more people, we're not seeing the actual pendulum swing yet from buyers market to sellers yet.
Yeah, no, I mean it's still a buyer's market. Sometimes what we do get is you might get an agent that tries to get a kind of a multiple bidding situation for their client by pricing a property very, very low. Like let's say a property that the market price is $550 and they'll list it for $399 and they'll say, okay, the seller's going to review offers in a week. But what I find a lot of times happens with properties like that is, they'll get a couple of offers. The seller won't accept any of them. The property will remain on market. They'll switch the price from $399 to $560. The property will continue to sit on the market, and then eventually it'll sell for $500.
Yeah, so it's not happening right now. That bidding wars and stuff like that. That activity is really not happening like it used to be.
Yeah, it's not like what was like. I feel like what was happening during COVID with the low interest rates was a lot of FOMO. Like I don't know, have you heard that term before, Carmelo? FOMO.
Yes,
fear of missing out.
Yeah.
So when you have things like that, and you have people that are paying unreasonable prices for properties, it's very much emotionally driven. And one of the things is, like, when I work with my clients, is my job is to help them make the best decision for themselves. And I'm constantly, kind of finding myself in situations where there's, I'm kind of reining the person back in, and I'm like, okay, like, think logically about what's happening right now. And that's all about that relationships over transactions. I can easily be like, oh, hey, yeah, no, okay, great, let's get that offer in. But then, like, what's going to happen when the client realizes that they, paid more than they needed to, right? That's going to be like, where were you along the way to help me out, right? So, you also saw things like this in pre-construction, right? Like, where people were buying pre-construction properties at the peak when I guess like last winter, and now they're in a situation where they can't finance that property because that property is not appraising anymore for what they paid for it.
So a question was asked earlier, Alex. Maybe we could talk about it now for literally a minute or two. Assignments, condo assignments. If somebody wants to buy a property, a condo on assignment, they contact you, correct?
Yeah, so they can contact me. I need to find out a little bit about what you're looking for, and I can help you by sending you listings that come on the market, and also use my network to get those listings for you. But keep a few things in mind. So when you're buying an assignment, there's certain conditions that need to be fulfilled for that. A lot of times the developer has to approve that assignment. The fee structure is a lot different. So if you're looking to buy a property for $600,000 that's on assignment, correct me if I'm wrong, but you need 20% down for that.
No, you can still buy with less. Again, when you're buying on assignment on the mortgage side, the key thing is, if the builder has to, with the purchase agreement, the builder has to prove that the property can be signed. So if the builder, if the original purchase price, let's just say, was $500, now you're buying it for $600. If the builder has to prove that it's being assigned to you, if the builder does not approve that, the bank's not going to lend based on the price you're buying at $600,000. They're going to go based on the original purchase price.
Yeah,
so it's very different, especially down payment is tricky.
Yeah, and I mean, so also do keep in mind that with assignments, it's like, it's not necessarily that if somebody bought this property in whatever 5 years ago, it's not like they're going to be looking to assign it to you for the 5 year ago price. Like, a lot of times the seller's still looking to get money on that. And I mean, there's like the transaction costs that come with assigning it as well, like paying real estate commissions and things like that go into this. But what the point I was making earlier is, because you have this secondary market now that's competing with the active condo market, because 5 years ago we had so many cranes up in downtown Toronto. I mean, we still do. There's all these condos that were being built, and now the closing for all these condos, the occupancy is now, and people are finding themselves in difficult financial situations because of maybe like things have changed in the last 5 years for them, right? So there's more competition for condos because of all the new construction that was happening that was primarily condos. And now you have the secondary market that's competing with the resale market. So it's putting additional strain on the resale market. So I still think that the best opportunities exist in resale.
So that's a very good question. Love that. Hope you answered it. Any other questions from the guests in our group? Oh, we got another one. Why are those 1,100 square foot properties cost so little? I would assume the prices should be calculated based on the size and location mostly. Seems too good to be true. Is there something to watch out for? So, Alex, those 2 units that you showed that had the over 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Like Alexi's asking, like, are those properties too good to be true?
No, they exist. They really exist. And I mean, there's like the ones at Bathurst and Steeles at 1101 Steeles. There's several buildings there. There's buildings on Antibes. There's buildings on Torresdale. There's buildings on Hilda. There's buildings at Bayview and John that are all above 1,000 square feet. These are larger buildings. They were just built that way. There's nothing too good to be true because the financial health of the condominium corporation is something that would be reviewed in the status certificate by your lawyer. So there's no catch. It's just the building is older. That's maybe one of the things. Like,
opportunity.
Sorry?
It looks like those buildings provide opportunities that a lot of people are overlooking because everyone's looking at the new buildings.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's the size. So, like as the ownership of detached properties is going to continue to go up, more and more people are going to be finding themselves in these larger apartments, like if they have a family. So that's what it is. I mean, there's no catch. I mean, if Alexei, if you want to send me a meeting request, I can kind of go over with you. I can show you what those properties rent out for, what those properties sell for. It's all available there.
Good question. No, there's no catches. They're just overlooked. And
yeah,
it's a lot of it provides a lot. A lot of people are missing out on these opportunities.
Yeah, and I guess like it's also maybe comes with the type of demographic that's looking at condos right now today, because mostly it's kind of like young professionals that are looking to buy a condo, or maybe like a couple or single people. Yeah, like I'm not. I don't know. There's no catch.
The one thing we do is we were here to protect you. So if you are looking at any of those older buildings, and if you're buying it, they're definitely going to be having a condition of a status certificate. Is that correct, Alex?
Status certificate condition, I always put that in. So that's the lawyer reviewing the financial health of the corporation, the building rules, everything. And yeah, I mean, like I'm actually like Alexei, like I'm looking. My dad is looking to relocate into Toronto, and we're looking in those buildings for him because he doesn't want to live in a unit that's like go from a house to living in a unit that's below 1,000 square feet. So, if you want to book time, I can even take you there and show you some units.
Good question.
Yeah,
it does seem too good to be true. That's why when you're showing them, I was like, 500 per square foot. That's like so cheap versus all the other listings where it's like you mentioned the average downtown is 1,000.
Yeah, I mean it's like I mean I guess it's because it's at Bathurst and Steeles. I like it's a little bit not like right beside a subway station, for example. You need to do a 15-minute bus ride to get there, or to have a car. But but
if you work from home, if you work from home, you have to worry about transportation. Right, you got a car. You can drive anywhere you want. Because again, like it's just south of Steeles, so the Promenade Mall in that area,
just north of Steeles.
Yeah, just a few blocks away, and everything's still around you.
Yeah, everything is there. You have Center Point. You have the 407.
Yeah.
It's just
when you look out your window versus buying downtown, you can see those beautiful sunsets and sunrises. I couldn't tell which one they were.
Yeah,
and you get a lot more living space for that price.
Yeah. That's why I mentioned it, because like I feel like a lot of people may not be aware that there's options like that. They may think like condos are just like downtown, small units, and that's why I included a bunch of units that were bigger.
So if anyone I'm going to post in the message board again. If anyone wants to book a 15-minute meeting with either Alex or myself, Alex to talk about current listings, or myself pre-qualifying for a mortgage, or want to know where interest rates are going or what you would qualify for, feel free to book an appointment with us, talk for about 15 minutes, and prep you when it comes to what you need to know to buy a property.
Yeah, amazing. So
we want to thank everyone that's coming, that attended. Thank you. If it's not too much trouble, if you could give us a 5-star review and feedback with regards to tonight's presentation. We are doing another one, Alex, again in a few weeks.
Yeah, so on March 13th, we're doing our first time condo buyer seminar again, where we basically give an overview of why condos and how to get into condo ownership. And then we're going to be, I think we're going to be looking to book another one of these listing webinars probably within a short time after that, because I feel like we got a pretty good turnout and good questions.
Yeah, and again, the properties are constantly changing, right? You're seeing there's, I don't know, it was 186 listings.
So there's 186, yeah, in the last 24 hours.
So by the end of the week, it's gonna be like over 1,000 units. So that's where, again, if anybody wants to see and get access to new listings, send Alex a DM, and we can get on a mailing list, and he can send you some listings for neighborhoods and that cater to yourself. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks to everybody that connected. I hope that you have a good, safe weekend. Stay warm. It's a chilly one, but I feel like we're almost around that. Okay, why condos are becoming smaller? Oh no, sorry, that's an old question. Thank you for the great presentation. Thank you, Lovelet. Thank you so much for that. That feedback means a lot. So thanks, guys. And yeah, stay warm. I feel like the spring's just around the corner.
Yeah, stay tuned for the next presentation in 2 weeks from now. And if anyone has any suggestions with maybe future presentations, please write it on our meetup message.